8 new events this year, and also started an events newsletter and revived the tradition of Sunday night movies. She's been very active in Stanford Women in Business and helped American Studies organize our recent symposium on the past and future of reproductive justice in America, which, by the way, you can now access online on the program's website. Annie received Stanford's Award of Excellence in recognition of her having had a truly meaningful impact on the university, and this summer she will work at Stanford Sierra Camp, and in the fall plans to work to re-elect President
Biden. First of all, to my parents, I didn't tell them I was doing this speech, so surprise. And thank you to the department and everyone for organizing this graduation ceremony. If you've ever been on the official Stanford tour, there's a significant chance that the tour guide paused on a circular red tile in the center of Main Quad. They probably told you you are in the very center of Stanford. 82 Disneylands can build this campus, they may have said, which stretches from Jasper Ridge all the way to the shopping center. Personally, I wouldn't know the exact script because my tour guide application was rejected twice. But I hope this lack of success rate is not foreshadowing the experience of an American Studies department on the job market. But alas, if I were a tour guide, I would have said that the red spot in Main Quad was not the center of campus. Instead, I think the heart of this place lies in Green Library's special collections, where the university archives live. The archives hold proof of life for the thousands of people who have touched Stanford. The sandstone that makes up much of our campus is malleable, sculpted gently by each person who has once called Stanford home. It's impossible to hold the stories of every person who has walked across this campus, but the archives cater the receipts of each era of people who have graced this place. In the archives, you can find many things. Scrapbooks from the 1940s detailing love stories that took place regardless of harsh social rules Stanford used to regulate women. Writing tablets that Jane Stanford supposedly used to communicate with her deceased son, and sheet music played by the people at the bell tower. I wonder sometimes which objects will be added to represent our time here. Perhaps those sheets of plastic that partitioned bathroom sinks when we first arrived to reduce the spreading of germs. Those things really stopped the spread. Perhaps there will be a list of demands from one of the brave activists that fought hard for their beliefs this year. The American Studies Department has taught me to question the stories we've been told about history, and personally, I feel very proud of the Stanford students questioning the stories that were told about the present. Perhaps the archives will keep one of those no access signs from last spring's temporary body of water that emerged in the dry patch we wishingly call Lake Lagunita. It is harder to restore the juxtapositional image of students splashing and kayaking in the water while gophers and ground squirrel carcasses line the shore and people tested positive for flesh-eating bacteria and the 8th plague of millions, and I mean millions, of tiny frogs littered the path last spring. Archives can't tell the whole story, and we cannot expect them to. Life is too full of energy for us to expect a piece of paper or a tangible object to hold it all. The stories then, the whole thing, lie within the people. They say the people make the place. And I mean, Stanford's architecture is pretty great, but I do feel that as we graduate, we aren't fully ever leaving Stanford behind because the connections we have made here will far outlast the times we have slept under these stars. So congratulations to the class of 2024. Thank you to our parents and families, to our friends. Thank you to the American Studies faculty who teach us that everything is linked together and that yes, that alternative project is probably okay, and you take us to Tarun every spring. Take that, CS department. I would like to see you all sitting at one table. Thank you for encouraging us to carve our own paths, to follow our passions. Thank you for helping us learn and grow. And graduates, I'm not going to give you any big advice because I certainly am not in the position to do so, but rather I'll leave you with a wish. I wish that we all take the magic of our class of Stanford and bring it forward into the real world, remembering that sometimes the solution to writing an essay on a hot day is to fountain hop. Sometimes it's better to choose a triple room over a single if it means more time with your friends. And if you need to cry, your advisor's office is always there for you, or your advisor's class. Thank you, Beth. I wish we remember that stories are always made of people, and people are made of life. I wish we know that whatever stories we learn through objects in the university archives or other, we remember that people are the most important thing. So it's going to be okay, graduates. We might be leaving Green Library and the archives behind, but we're bringing the people and the connections we've made with us. So congrats to the graduates of 2024, because we did it.